I don't know any professional photographers for like magazines or National Geographic or anything like that that are hijabis. So I guess it's nice to be a little bit different than the rest. I think it gives me like a leg up in the world.
Okay, so how did you get into photography?
I think I got sucked into the whole social media age, but I think I have always been quite interested in taking photographs, whether it be with a camera or a phone. And because like technology has been advancing quite a bit recently, you have just as good of a camera on your phone than you do like buying a £3,000 Sony camera. So I guess I took advantage of what was at hand, and I've always had quite an artsy, creative eye, but I could not paint to save my life. I think I started about probably when I went on holiday about 3 years ago. I finally got my new iPhone camera and I was really proud of it, and I guess I just started taking photos more and more, and they became less about taking photos of like food and Instagram and more like trying to create something interesting. And then I got a hold of my sister's camera, the Sony, like the camera that I have now, and she kind of lent it to me to the point of she never took it back. And about a year ago, I guess I started getting into it more and more.
Do you sort of feel like you're breaking the stereotype by doing your hobby?
It depends on the kind of photography you're trying to apply. So with like fashion and hijabinistas coming out in the fashion world and it becoming more and more in the spotlight, I guess I wouldn't say I was breaking any kind of stereotype. But at the same time, I don't know any professional photographers for like magazines or National Geographic or anything like that that are hijabis. So I guess it's nice to be a little bit different than the rest. I think it gives me like a leg up in the world. And being a nature photographer more than anything else is, I guess it's ties in with my deen and my iman quite a lot, because I'm a photographer, something natural and something that I didn't create, but something greater than anyone else did create. So it's nice to be like a conduit to share that beauty, I guess.
So do you think there should be more activities in Dundee about your hobby?
I guess, yes. There's not a lot of opportunities to like gather with like-minded hijabis that are also interested in photography, and it is quite hard. So a lot of people say that taking photos of yourself is quite vain, and that's like against your iman and against Islam. And like, I guess I would like to have a more involved community. It would be nice to share it with someone that's also in the same boat as me, I guess.
What advice would you give to young Muslim girls or women wanting to do photography?
I would say don't let anything stop you. You don't need to think about it as a career. It doesn't need to be like the more Instagram followers you are, the better photographer you are, or anything like that. A lot of like modern society, it tells you to like push yourself to the point of when you get famous, that's the peak of your talent. And I guess it's not about that. When it comes to photography as well, it's so about the eye behind the camera and not about the camera. It doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have, even if you have like your iPhone camera or your Android camera, it doesn't matter. Just start easy and don't put any pressure on yourself. Once you get to the point where it doesn't matter what other people think about your photography, that's when you'll start having the most fun. So I think my advice is just get up and do it. There's really nothing to it. Yeah, there's really nothing to it. It's very simple.
So you take a lot of portraits, right?
Usually the portraiture is of myself, so I'm both subject and photographer, which is a lot of running back and forth and timers and stuff like that.
Do you feel like intimidated when you're like taking photos of yourself?
I did at the start. I thought I was being very like posy and I overthought about it. It is quite intimidating when you're both behind and in front because it doesn't feel like you're the photographer really, it feels more like you're the model and you're taking photos of yourself, almost like a selfie. But then when you start doing it more and more, you start realizing that it's not about the subject, it's not about the person or the thing that you're capturing, it's more about the way you capture it and the way that you portray whatever it is. So even when I'm taking a photo of myself, I will go back into editing and Photoshop, Lightroom, sometimes even iPhotos editing platform, and just sugar around the angles and the lighting, and I will change all of the colours and change them back. And again, it's about creating art rather than the subject itself. So.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It means a lot.